Hello, everyone. It is me, Leo Brown, and welcome once again to another Psychic's Perspective. Happy Thursday to all of you. Hope you guys are having a great Thursday and a great Friday Eve. I was about to say Thursday Eve, but I'm like, no, Friday Eve. Okay. So today's Psychic Perspective is on singer, flautist. I'm trying to think of actress. What else? Dancer, songwriter. Today's like perspective is on Lizzo. And actually, I didn't know a lot about her, to be quite frank. I didn't know a lot about her. I've heard some of her music, like I've heard Good as Hell. I've heard um what's the song? Truth Hurts. I've heard of, the songs that if you listen to like top 40 radio, So, but I had never really heard of her music, like really did a deep dive. And actually, I didn't know that her middle name, I believe, is Vivian. And I love her name. Her name is, I love her actual full name. So we are going to do a reading for Miss Lizzo today. So if you guys would ever be so kind, could you please make sure that you like, make sure that you comment, and most of all, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot. It lets YouTube know that you guys like what I'm doing. And if you would like a reading outside of this modality and medium, if you like what I'm doing, please, you can log on to my website, psychicleo.com. That's psychicleo.com. And we'll get you together and we'll set up an appointment. And yes, Lord, do everything you have to do. So today we are doing a reading on, I want to make sure I have her name right. Melissa Viviane Jefferson. I love her name. Her name is Melissa Jefferson, also known as Lizzo. So let's get started. Now, before I go into the reading, let me say that the things I say, nothing is set in stone. I'm not 100% accurate, nor do I claim to be. Um, I'm just a vessel, and I'm going to allow spirit, the ancestors, the gods, goddesses to use me as they see fit to deliver messages to Ms. Lizzo or to, I'm going to call her Melissa. So hopefully this makes sense. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry. All I can do is blame it on human error because I'm 100% human rather than 100% accurate. Okay? So let's get started. All right, here we go. So, Miss Lizzo, Miss Melissa, if you're watching this, let me know, Sham. All right, here we go. Okay, so the first thing that I'm picking up is I'm hearing a connection with her grandmother. Um, her grandmother, like, or the women, like the women, the lot, the lineage of her family, like grandmother, great grandmother, like generational. And I hear that the reason why she is so bold and out there and full of energy in life is because what I'm hearing is that she's like, I'm not only doing this for me, I'm doing this for the women in my family that didn't have voices. That is why she is the way she is. Because what I'm picking up around, and I keep hearing the word Melissa, so I'm gonna call her Melissa. What I get around Melissa is that you're actually very shy, you're very humble, you're very down home. You know what I mean? Like you literally would be, and don't take this wrong, but I could see her working at like a Waffle House or a KFC. You know what I mean? Just that down home, sweet. You know what I mean? Want everybody to be happy, want everybody feeling good. She's that kind of girl, really. And it's interesting because people think that she's so brash and she's so bold, and she is. But a lot of it really is that she's doing this not just for her, she's doing it for for other women that have not been able to have voices. I'm picking up that she looks back a lot. I'm picking up that you look at people like Bessie Smith, You look at people like Mel Carter, you look at people like Big Mama Thornton. I literally see these people in my head. Um, Rosetta Tharpe. You literally like you're very pro-black and you learn about your people, believe it or not, contrary to what people think. You really love your people. Um, I'm picking up clothing or clothing design, like a clothing line or something like that coming up. I'm picking up definitely more television. But I definitely see it being more behind the scenes, like producing, writing, maybe not directing, but producing and writing, I definitely see, or like running a show, show running. And I even pick up a talk show for you, Melissa, too. I feel like you're going to end up doing something where you end up, you really want to work with the people, the public. That's what matters to you. And I'm also getting like a shoe, something to do with shoes or like a tennis shoe or something like that. What may it might be like a an endorsement deal or something like that, but I'm seeing something with you regarding shoes. Um, what else am I receiving? You're losing weight for you. You know what I mean? You love your body. You embrace your body with everything, you do. You have your insecurities because I definitely see you, sometimes picking your body apart because it's funny. Underneath it, I also pick up that you're very sensitive. You're very empathic. And I know people use that word all the time, empath, but I do pick up empathy from you like a great deal. Animal welfare is important. The environment is important to you. Things like that. And you really want to bring women, I feel like, together more. And I get a connection with you and Queen Latifah too. I don't know what that means, but I am. Either like a movie or there's something you guys are gonna do. You're gonna work together somehow. Um, but I feel like you're it's taking you a long time to embrace you. And you're still on that journey. You're still on that journey of like, there are days where I don't feel like getting out of bed because I do pick up a sense of depression sometimes. I do pick up a sense of moodiness a little bit. I do pick up a sense of not knowing what you're worth. I feel like you sometimes doubt your worth, but I also see you championing mental health and saying like, listen, that's why I make the music I make. That's why, even though it may sound basic to some people, but that's why I try to empower. A lot of my music is very empowering because I'm actually when I'm writing or when I'm singing, I'm writing and singing mainly for myself, you know. So yeah, I really picked that up. Um, I see you winning a great deal of awards. I feel like you're going to end up like in the next year, maybe the next year, maybe 2 years, you're going to end up really, because I'm seeing you literally sweeping awards a lot and winning a lot of awards. And I hear you like being like, oh my God, so I'm seeing a lot of that. And I'm also picking up a dance course or a dance class or something like that where you may end up auditioning other women, and not just women, but I think people, period. Um, because I'm seeing something to do with you teaching people how to dance or teaching dance courses. Let's see. Then in terms of personal life, I it's interesting because I feel like you've got someone in your life now, but I also feel like there are people around that are like, hey, if things don't work out, like I pick up at least 3 to 4 people. And yeah, but I think the man you're with right now is good. He's good for you. He's very affirming, but he's affirming in a very quiet way. He's not one to boast real loud. And I also get that he has his own thing, you have your own thing. And I think that's what makes the relationship work. Um, you're very much into spirituality. I'm seeing crystals around you and talking to your ancestors and drinking your water and minding your business. I'm seeing a lot of that. And you communicating with those that have passed on, but not just that, but you honoring them. And I feel like that's like I was saying in the beginning, I feel like that's why you do what you do. you are honoring, you know that. Like I think instinctively you know that when you're performing, that's what you're doing. You're honoring the women in your I feel like the women in your family line. I don't know why I keep getting that, but I feel like the women in your family line, they keep coming through. And you really are like, I want to honor them. I want to pay homage to them. I'm also seeing you either go back to Detroit because I know that you've lived in Texas for a time, but I also see you going back to Michigan too because I keep seeing like the puffy coat and you going back to Michigan and getting back, and I'm seeing like either like a conservatory or some kind of school. And I also see you doing. It's funny because I'm seeing you play more than one instrument. I feel like you can play the drums a little bit, you can play the violin. I'm seeing different. You've got different things. There's other things you can do. But I also feel that because you're so, and this is not your fault. I think this is more so the media's fault because you're just being yourself. The media tends to make they tend to make it more about that than your actual art, which is I think is actually kind of sad. Because if you look at Britney, they do it with Britney too. They do it I think they do it with women, period, in the music business. But because I noticed that with men, they don't do it as much, but with women, they kind of do. Anyway, um, and I also hear you lecturing. I hear you either lecturing or doing like a commencement speech. Like it kind of reminds me of the hasty pudding, something like that. I'm seeing you talking to women about you're gonna end up doing a lot of things that empower not just women but yourself. Because a lot of it, you're doing this. A lot of this is you're doing it for you, but you're just taking people along. You're bringing people along with you. That's really what it is. And I want to say your next either two or like three albums, I'm getting like Grammys because I literally see a Grammy in your hand, but I also saw earlier like an Image Award too. So you're gonna end up ranking up a lot of recognition coming up. So keep doing what you're doing. Um, the one thing I will say to you, Melissa, is let go of the past. Let go of things that you can't control and you can't change. Because I'm picking up a lot of emotion from you. I feel like you cry a lot about things because you want to help everybody, you want to save the world, but there's certain things and certain people you just can't save. And I feel like a lot, once again, this goes back to the whole family thing. I feel like there's people in your family that you want to help, but you're like, I can't help them because I'm seeing men in your family. I don't know if they're like your uncles or your brothers, but I'm seeing people in your family that you're like, I want to help them, but I can't. Like, I want to make it better, but I know I can't do that. So you got to learn to let go, honey. You really do. And I feel like if you were to do that, you wouldn't be so at times bogged down because I feel like you put the world on your shoulders a lot. You don't mean to, but you do. And you gotta stop doing that. And I also see you changing your team. I feel like maybe not this year, but probably in the next year. Because I get the number two around you. So probably in the next 2 years, I feel like you're gonna change your team and the way you do certain things. And I'm also picking up either like your own label or like a group, like a musical group that may come out of your work. So I feel like you're gonna end up doing things like that too, because I'm seeing like the like mentorship, kind of like Kelly Rowland did with June's Diary, or I see you also doing things like The Voice. So I would not be surprised if you end up doing things of that nature as well. But other than that, honey, I think you are wonderful. And I have to say this, and this is from someone who, like I said earlier, I never really, it's not that I'm not a fan of your work, because I am, but it took me a minute to get into it. But I have to say, honey, you are a gorgeous woman. Like you really are. You are absolutely beautiful. And you have the biggest hearts. You have such a loving energy. You love everybody, though people don't always love you. And you sometimes feel that, which is why you have to kind of back away from people sometimes. Like I feel like you tend to shut down, but you really are. You're a gorgeous person inside and out. And keep that openness, that tenderness that you have. Don't allow life or circumstances to make allow life to teach you things, but don't allow life to harden you. You know what I mean? And I think if you were to do that, you would be fine. So that's all I have to say for Melissa Viviane Jefferson, also known as Lizzo. I hope you guys have enjoyed this reading. If you liked it, let me know. What do you think about Lizzo? Leave me some comments. What do you think about Miss Lizzo, honey, and her music and her message? Do you think she's really empowering women, or is she about empowerment, or do you think she's, like, what do you think? Let me know. So until next time, my sugar bears, it is I, Leo Brown, and this was today's psychic perspective on Lizzo. So I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye bye.